Where's this afternoon gone? Welcome along to this final hour of this week's Total Football. We've been with 14 Premier League clubs today and the Old Firm. We'll hear from all of them before 5 o'clock. Plus, we are live to Wembley ahead of that showpiece match between England and the United States. Here's what's on the way.
Thank you so much for he chose us, to come here.
We have to do better to be the team that we want to be.
In this moment, by far, we are not that good.
It's good that that there's clarity to my contract situation.
A lot of respect for him, for his career, for what he's achieved.
No, I didn't know.
I think it's no goals in 9 games.
Don't say that.
It is a huge respect. 3-0 corner. I'm not sure when I switched off. 3-0. Yeah. It was a nice setup.
Well, we start this hour with the man that everyone is talking about, Erling Haaland. He has scored 19 goals in 11 games so far this season, and few would bet against him, adding to that against Southampton tomorrow. Now, you might think that Pep Guardiola would be happy that the Norwegian striker is not involved in this winter's World Cup, giving him a few weeks off, but actually, that's not the case.
Of course not. I would love all the players can play and go on this amazing event for as a football player. Next time, but he's young, have an opportunity in 4 years.
Shame for the fans, though.
Yeah, definitely. Good players. All the fans wanna see the best players as possible, and Erling is one of them.
There's even been a petition this week to get him banned from football. Did you laugh about that?
Sorry?
There's been a petition this week.
People were voting to get rid of him from the Premier League because it's just not fair, like joking.
Nice joke, yeah.
Saying it's not fair to everybody else. He shouldn't be playing.
No, as a joke, it's good.
Just on his time during that World Cup, are you planning to have him training, or will he be taking
holidays? Few weeks, 1 or 2 week holidays, and after start again with the players to stay here.
Just on Haaland, when he scored his second goal the other night, you caught on camera pulling a funny face. Is that an indication that even you can't quite believe how many goals he's scoring?
No, it's not about that. It's not about that. When I arrive, we never speak how many goals you have to score. It's just the fact that it's a deflection. He's there. Why the ball finish where he is? This is an incredible, instinct. What I said many times. So what can I teach? Be here or there, 1 meter. Have an incredible sense as to the strikers. Like the ball is going to finish. He goes 1 second before the ball will arrive. I'm there. And he has this talent, this quality. It's not about the score goals. It's, oh my God. All the time is deflection across. Is the finish where this type of players are. That's why he's always surprised. How can, as a man, I teach him? When I shoot a deflection and the ball is going to finish here or here. It's impossible. It's just completely instinct. It's natural. And I said many times recently, he did it in Norway, in Austria, in Germany, he's doing here. You don't have to say anything. It just move like you smell it. So that's why. So thank you so much for he chose us, to come here, and the club. It's Khaldun, Ferran, Chiki, all the people involved to try to bring him here, because we are fortunate to have this talent with us.
Is the media attention on Erling the biggest one of a player that you've managed since Messi? Is it fair to say?
Nothing is comparing. The people say that Erling with Leo. I think we don't help any other. So how many new Messis appear in the world football since I started? 10, 15? Always you fail. So Erling has to do his own career, his own job. He's a different player. Of course, the media. And listen, how many press conferences have done here so far? 50 questions, 45 for Erling. Every press conference. For me, it's okay. What I said many times, the fortunate we are, do you know what it is? It's the guys that were here accept it perfectly. And that type of guys, we didn't like it. Guys will win 4 Premier Leagues, fight for everything, just talk about Erling. They will not like it. And other clubs and other people will not like it. Here, they are the light. Because we have Kevin, that is an exceptional person. And he's happy to have him, and because both knows they can be better, playing outside, and the same for all of them. We don't have the incredible players like, why the people talk about Jassim. And in many clubs happen. And this is why it's a joy to watch or to train this type of players.
Well, with Erling Haaland scoring for fun, many people are predicting that City will comfortably win the Premier League this season. But Pep Guardiola was keen to point out one specific thing. City aren't even top right now. 6-7 years, every year we are a little bit better in some terms. But it's just how many fixtures? 8-9 games of the Premier League season. So important is the Premier League in Champions League in that period. We are in a dream position. So you have one game left to qualify, and now you have to fight, I think, against BVB to finish the first. It's important too. And in the Premier League, being there, we cannot forget one thing, ladies and gentlemen. There is one team has been better than us. This is the reality. The reality, Arsenal has been better than us so far. We are not top of the league. Important is to be there and try to fight to arrive there. Well, the league leaders Arsenal take on Liverpool at the Emirates as part of what promises to be a brilliant Super Sunday. Mikel Arteta's side favourites for this game. They could go 14 points clear of Jurgen Klopp's team with a win.
Again, another really exciting game to play in front of our people against one of the toughest opponents in this league. So it's going to be a really demanding match that's going to require us to be at our best again. Obviously, this is a big match. It's a fixture that everybody is looking for against an opponent that has shown in the last 5 or 6 years the level that they have, and we have to show against those opponents that we have raised the level and we are ready to compete against them. I'm really happy and proud, obviously, for the change, for the dynamic, and for how the atmosphere and the belief around the club feels like at the moment, but as well looking ahead again, that where we're going to be, and at the moment we are not there yet. I think I mentioned it last week. I think one of the things that how you measure success is, okay, lifting trophies as well, but you need to understand where we were, and as you said, how fractioned the club and the environment, how it looked at the time and how it looks right now, is credit to everybody that has been involved in the last few seasons to achieve that.
Now, Arsenal haven't scored a goal against Liverpool in 7 games, and it got a bit feisty between Klopp and Arteta when Liverpool won at Anfield nearly a year ago. Klopp says that's all in the past, and now he's got nothing but respect for Arteta.
Really, really good job. So it's like this, when you need some time, nobody wants to give you time. And maybe not all of us deserve time, because it's you still have to be good to use the time, and that was Mikel obviously did. I have to say, really, lots of respect for it. They had a lot of talent already in the last 2 years. I think Martinelli, everybody, I was very early excited about him, and he became exactly the player I expected he will be. Martin Odegaard. I spoke to him when he was 15 from Norway, and the whole world wanted him. He decided for Real Madrid, but I remember, as it would have been yesterday, that we sat on a table with his dad, and we were all so excited. And then there came a few difficult years, which is normal when you're that much in the spotlight. So he became the player everybody expected him to be that time. Saka, I think from first day since he's playing, it's incredible. And Gabriel Jesus, if anybody knew how good he could be, not in a Man City shirt, in a fixed role, fixed number 9, number 1 in the lineup, if you want, the fixed number 9 in the lineup. Then it was Mikel, because we worked together with him. Same with Zinchenko, so great things. Brought Xhaka back on track. Thomas Partey, everybody knew how good he is when he was at Atletico. So, and then the last line is now really well settled. They found a way how they want to defend, and that's it. And then last night, obviously, they played a different lineup, but still lots of quality. So it's a young team, very exciting team, and doing really well. And they are in the position they are, well deserved. So, but now we go there, and obviously we don't think about the games we played against them, because it makes not too much sense. But so we will try, to cause them problems. I think that makes sense, huh? And so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Klopp mentioned Gabriel Jesus there, and he hasn't been surprised a jot by the striker's form since joining Arsenal. Jesus has scored 5 league goals so far this season, a form that's propelled Arsenal to the top of the table.
You always saw that when he played for City, but it's like this: when you're a player, the Gabriel Jesus role at City, I think it was a 9, a winger, and these kind of things. Even was it last year when everybody said City has no number 9? I was still there. So it's everything. It's like it's different, but he played more often from the wing, obviously, and now he can play his role. And was a third goal last night. What did it win? 3-0, 4-0? I'm not sure when I switched off. 3-0. Yeah. Well, was a nice setup. So he's flying in the moment, huh? So full of confidence. That's what confidence does to top quality, to top class players. And if you not play against them, then it's easy to enjoy what he's doing in the moment. Now it's our opponent for the weekend, so we have to make sure that he will stop flying for a weekend.
Well, Liverpool kept only their 3rd clean sheet of the season in the 2-0 win over Rangers in the Champions League in midweek, and Klopp still thinks his side have a fair way to go to solve their defensive issues.
When you spot a problem as human beings and you think about it and you have a solution, then you want the solution instantly clicking. That's just the solution immediately. So. And we are still in progress. It's like work in progress to find a way out. That's how it is. So you cannot now say, okay, now we are back. Oh, we are back again in a dark place, and now we are back again here. We need consistency. For consistency, we need to defend the rubbish out of everybody, pretty much. Let me say it like this: we have to, and that's what we have to do. And I'm not interested now in this short-term diagnosis. Oh, that was good, that was bad, that was good, that was bad. No, we have to be good until we are outstanding. We have to defend out of everybody we face, and that's why we use the word rubbish. So that obviously that's what we have to do, and that's what we try.
Now, what a boost ahead of this weekend, particularly for Steve Cooper and Nottingham Forest. Speculation surrounded Cooper's future after that 4-0 thrashing by Leicester, Forest's 5th defeat in a row. But then this morning, he agreed a new deal, keeping him at the City ground until 2025. Despite that extension, Cooper says that his focus is firmly on ending his side's poor run of form.
It's good that there's clarity to my contract situation, because I know there's been a lot of questioning over the last sort of weeks and months, so I guess it puts an end to them questions. Everyone who knows me knows how much I've loved and I'm loving my time here at Nottingham Forest. I think everyone knows how important it is to me. If I'm being really honest, my real focus at this moment in time is about winning a football match, because obviously we're on a poor run of form, and let's not hide away from that, and that is the thing that's in my mind more than anything. Internally, there's only been normal conversations after a game. We're obviously disappointed with the performance and the result against Leicester. And like I said, the conversations I've had with ownership, with chief executive, etc., have just been around that, really. But like they are after every game. So. Wider issues or other things that may have been reported, I can't say that I've been in any conversations like that. As I said, my mindset is on my job. I'm the head coach of the football club, and that is to coach the team to play the best as they can. At the moment, we've got a lot of area to improve on, and that's where I keep saying that's where my real focus is.
Now, second place Rangers take on third place St Mirren tomorrow at Ibrox in the Scottish Premiership. The game sandwiched between the two Champions League matches against Liverpool. Let's hear now from the Rangers boss, Giovanni van Bronckhorst.
Well, I think they had a great start of the season. The last 6 games, I think they won 5 games or even. So it's a very good run. They had a great result lately. Very, very recognizable team, the way they play. Very aggressive. Find the 2 strikers really quick. A lot of runners from midfield. Transition moments really strong, and defensive really compact. So if you are 3rd in the league, it means you started the season well. So credit to St Mirren for the way they started the league.
Mark from Sky.
Hi, Gio. Borna's just been in about the team needing to learn about playing in the Champions League, about getting that experience. Understandable. From your point of view, is it frustrating having to kind of learn on the job a little bit? You know, you're judged on results, but you as a team aren't used to playing at that level.
One, of course, you want to. I think frustrated is not the right word because you're frustrating if you underperforming, if you are playing against a team you should have won and you didn't. Of course, it's a huge learning process for my players to play in the Champions League and to play at this level. Although it's very hard and we didn't won any points, this is the level you want to compete in, and we don't want to switch, for another competition. Everyone wants to be involved in Champions League, but it's really tough. We face, we sense that, and we feel that at the moment. But just look at the groups, look at the teams who are struggling to get even in top two. Really good teams in Europe. So this is the level you want to compete in. Although the lessons you learn they're really hard. But I think we are keep improving in the Champions League level. If you look at our games from the first game Ajax until the game we played against Liverpool the last time, but I think also as a team we will become stronger, and becoming stronger for us, that's also really good to take that back to the league and the cup, domestic cup competitions.
Millie Bright will be leading England out tonight as they face the United States. We're going to be live to Wembley to look ahead to that next. tell you what, talk about a fixture and a half in the women's game. European champions England take on world champions USA tonight at a sold-out Wembley Stadium. There's been so much anticipation around this game as soon as it was announced. However, the fixture has taken extra significance after recent developments. Our reporter Anton Touloui is pitchside at Wembley for us. Anton, as you know, this game has been dominated by the Yates report, which uncovered systemic abuse and misconduct in the NWSL over its stateside. England will stand in solidarity with their opponents by wearing teal armbands this evening. Tell us more.
Yeah, speaking to the US players this week, they've been really honest about the situation and basically saying like they've really struggled to concentrate on what is an absolutely huge match, as you were saying, David, simply because of the magnitude of this and the scale of the abuse that's been taking place in professional soccer in the US. The abuse varies from sexual abuse to misconduct to bullying to sort of financial people living in terrible conditions, that kind of thing. So completely struck a chord with the England players. They reached out to their American rivals and said, look, we'd love to stand side by side with you, and that's exactly what they're going to do tonight. Like I said, they're going to wear teal armbands. The players on the centre circle will all get together and stand before kick-off in a moment of solidarity. The arch at Wembley will also be lit up in teal as well. So the players very much sending a message tonight that women within sport should be believed when they raise concerns of this magnitude.
And Anton, Serena Wiegmann forced to make some changes tonight due to injuries. Any idea who might be coming into that starting 11?
So we've tried to get that out of Serena Wiegmann all week, but obviously you know what it's like. She's there, she doesn't give too much away. But I think the big selection is who's going to start up front. Heir apparent to Ellen White's number 9 jersey is obviously Alessia Russo, but she's missing this international break due to a little injury she picked up playing for Manchester United. So could we see Rachel Daly play up front for England? She's obviously been pretty much the first choice left back for England during the Euros, but she is by trade a centre forward. She started the season well for Aston Villa. She's actually one of the players that's been nominated for Player of the Month in the WSL. So has Beth Mead, by the way. She's another one potentially going for that centre forward position, as is Ebony Salmon, who's yet to start a game for England, but she's been in magnificent form and plays in the United States, and she was trying to put her cause across during training this week. The other place is obviously in defence. No Leah Williamson, she's out injured. Millie Bright will captain instead. Who plays alongside her is a three-way battle between Alex Greenwood, Jess Carter and, of course, Lotte Wubben-Moy. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the nod there as they test the PA out here today. Lots of special events planned here at Wembley today. You're going to see the trophy paraded. You're going to see a big light show. You're also going to see the original Lionesses, 50 years since England's first ever official game. So the original England team will get their caps tonight as well. So there will be a celebration as well as, like you said, David, solidarity.
Absolutely right. And the sellout crowd, it will be loud. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Anton. Well, back to the Premier League. Graham Potter has told us that Wesley Fofana's knee injury isn't as bad as first feared. Fofana left Stamford Bridge on crutches on Wednesday after Chelsea beat AC Milan by 3-0 in the Champions League. Potter, though, thinks that Fofana could be back before the World Cup.
Wesley's knee, not as bad as we thought, so that was good. After the game, of course, you're concerned, but a few weeks, I think, but considerably better than it could be. But we'll miss him for a few weeks.
So you might see him playing again before the World Cup?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Depends on how his rehab goes. Wouldn't want to put too much of a timescale on it, but there's a chance of that, yeah.
To wins at Crystal Palace and at home to AC Milan capped a good week for Chelsea. They'll aim to make it 3 wins in a row against Wolves tomorrow in a game that sees Thiago Costa make a return to Stamford Bridge.
Well, we have a lot of respect for him, for his career, for what he's achieved, and he's at Wolves. He's a Wolves player, and he's gonna come and be ready to play. So everybody at this club knows how good he's been, and I've followed his career from afar, and I have a huge respect for him and what he's achieved as a player. So he's one, like I said, of lots of talented players at Wolves. They've got especially in the forward line, a lot of attacking players there that can hurt you. So we have to be ready.
But as for Diego Costa's new club, Wolves joint interim boss Steve Davis believes that Costa's impact is already being felt at Molineux.
In his words, he's got very hot blood. So read into that what you want, but He's a great character to have around. He's lifted the group when he's came in. We've only really sort of got to know him this week. He's been a breath of fresh air for us in terms of getting the squad together, getting everyone really close, keeping things high spirits. I think that's been important. So, and obviously he's a very, very talented player as well. He still has some talent there. He still has something in his legs.
Well, tomorrow's match promises to be a special one for Steve Davis too. He is a lifelong Wolves supporter. He admits he's struggled to put into words what the opportunity means to him, but he's excited by the quality of the squad.
Listen, I've supported this football club since I was 6, so, over 50 years now, so I can't describe how it feels, if I'm honest. And my dad took me as a boy, went back in the 70s. So I remember a lot of very, very good teams that they've had here. This is probably one of the most talented, if I'm honest. I had my favourites along the way, but this is probably one of the most talented groups that I've seen technically. And having been here for a week as people as well, they're fantastic people as well.
A breaking line from European football and international football. Scotland are going to be playing Turkey in an international friendly in November. It'll be their final match of this calendar year. They travel to Turkey on Wednesday, the 16th of November, as they prepare for qualifying for the Euros, which will be in Germany in 2024. No confirmation yet on venue, ticket information, kick-off time, but that will be communicated in due course. Only the second meeting between these two nations, the first in 60 years. Turkey ran out 40 winners in 1960, the last time they met. So Scotland play Turkey away from home in November, mid-November, their final match of 2022. Welcome back. Less than half an hour left on this edition of Total Football. News from Everton, West Ham and Celtic to come. Let's turn our attentions now to Manchester United. Despite Sunday's thrashing in the derby, Erik ten Hag thinks that his side can challenge Manchester City, but only if they become far more consistent. Ten Hag has warned that that could take time, though, and he admits that in this moment, United are not that good.
Sometimes you fell back, and then we have to catch up again. And that is what I demand from my squad. And so we have to carry on and every time learn the lessons and give the maximum. And because only good for me is good enough. And in this moment, by far, we are not that good. We have seen on Sunday. And we have to do much better. And especially, I think the main problem is, and that is what we did in games before, much better intensity. It's physical, it's mental. So there's also sustainability, like a routine, a way of life. And you have to bring it every training in your system as a squad and as an individual player. And when you had a lack of it in the last years, it's not something what you build or progress in a week or a month. No, it has to be in your system. That it has to be, but it's a demand in nowadays top football. And I think it's quite clear that City is a standard in that. There are more teams, but I think also we can deliver that. We have seen it against Liverpool, we have seen it against Arsenal, but now we have to do it on a consistency base. And that is what we have to work for now. But it will not come overnight. It will also take more than weeks. It will take months.
So the big question, how do you improve consistency? Well, Ten Hag has urged all of his squad to take responsibility, both individually and as a team.
I will give players trust. I will back them when they are in a worse shape. When they work hard, when they give them best in training sessions, when they take responsibility on the pitch, I will back them. But also, we are united and our ambitions are really high, so you have to deliver. And every player in the squad has to take that responsibility, individual, and they have to do it in a team culture. That is the demand from us, from the coaching staff to the players.
Well, United to play Everton on Sunday. Back-to-back wins mean the mood around Goodison has improved quickly and more reason for more optimism this week with some positive injury news on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's yet to play a minute this season after suffering multiple setbacks in his recovery, but Frank Lampard says he is now available.
He's in contention to see how match fit he is, but in terms of the injury, he's better.
How much of a boost does that give you, particularly as it is another forward option for you?
A really good boost.
But put it into context, I mean, just what he brings to the side when he's available.
Yeah, do I have to say that? He's a good player for us. Pivotal in us staying in the league last year. In that moment, we want to get him fit, we want to get him playing regularly.
And there's more good injury news for Lampard. Both Yerry Mina and Mason Holgate are back in training, although this weekend will likely come too soon for both players to make their return. And even without those two, Everton have conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League so far. Conor Coady has played a huge part in that since arriving on loan from Wolves in the summer. So would Lampard like to sign him permanently?
Conor's been really, really good. To maybe understate it since he's been here. He's been amazing in terms of his own performance and in terms of his influence on the team on and off the pitch. You know, so I think that's really visible. There's a long season to go. Conor knows how I feel about him. I think Conor knows how the club feels about him, and he's said a lot himself about the feeling. But I don't think it's time for an answer to that question whether to corrupt it at the minute. I think it's just good that we're working together. He's settled in really quickly. I know what my feeling is, and we'll see.
Now, West Ham United moved a step closer to qualifying for the Europa Conference League knockout stage last night after a 1-0 win against Anderlecht. David Moyes hoping the win can add to his side's growing momentum.
I think it's really important because we want to do well in the group. We want to try and win the group if we can. At least we want to try and qualify and make sure we've got European football after Christmas time again. And as well as that, I think we're trying to build a little bit of momentum, trying to get some victories under our belt. And last night's was a good result for us. Declan played 2 games for England last week, played a Premier League game as well, so we're trying to look after him for West Ham. We're trying to get him in the right condition for us as much as we possibly can, and there was an opportunity last night for me to leave him on the bench.
Well, Gianluca Scamacca's winner last night was his 5th goal of the season for West Ham. And Moyes pleased with the progress that he's making, but he says there's still room for improvement.
I think he's coming on very well. A 23-year-old young Italian striker, first time in the Premier League. I think he's coming along really well. His goals give you confidence, the centre forwards will tell you that. I think his form's getting better all round. I think his fitness is something which he knows he's got more to come and to do more. So I think it's always good when there's room for improvement and progress to be made. But I have to say he's doing a good job at the moment.
Crystal Palace hosts Leeds United in the first part of Super Sunday this weekend. It's been a tough start to the season for Patrick Vieira's side. Just the one Premier League win to their name.
Every game will have his challenges, and of course the first couple of games that we played were against teams that I believe will be finishing the top part of the table. But overall, it's not just about the result that I'm looking after. It's about the way we played and what we deliver on those kind of circumstances. And every games that we played, I think we competed quite well against any teams that we played so far. And it's nothing that's not going to change. We want to compete, we want to play well, we want to win games, regardless who we're going to play. And of course, the challenges will be different from one team to the other, but it's still going to be a tough game because, of course, winning Premier League games is not easy.
Towards the end of last season, when you played Leeds, a lot was made of your previous interactions with Jesse Marsch, the Leeds manager, when you were both in New York. Just how did you get on last time when you met up after everyone gave it a big build-up, and how is the relationship now with Jesse?
There is a huge respect for each other, and the last time we played against each other, it was good, no issues at all. It was 2 teams who were playing to win the game.
Anything there, because there was quite a history going into it. Is there anything still in the back of your mind that this is a rival?
The people from outside created this, but there is no rivalry or is not any kind of negativity between Jesse and myself.
Now this weekend we'll see players take a knee before every Premier League game. Vieira says the return of the anti-discrimination gesture is a timely reminder to people.
I think it's always important to remind ourselves, to everyone, that we are all against any kind of discrimination, and doing and taking the knee, I think it's showing that even if we don't do it every week, but the issue is still there, and we are not forgetting that is important topic that we all have to deal with it and try to improve our society.
Well, Leeds head coach Jesse Marsch held talks with officials and the Premier League this week about time wasting in matches. Marsch accused Aston Villa of repeated time wasting in their 0-0 draw on Sunday and believes adjustments will try to be made in a bid to eradicate it from the game.
Yeah, we tried to have some open dialogue with the officials and with the league, and I think that the discourse was helpful, and I think that people are aligned that it's not great for the game to have the time wasting. And so I think they'll try to make adjustments. But one of the things I said is our next home match is against Arsenal, and I highly doubt that we'll see them time wasting. So, but right now the focus is on Palace. But I appreciate, listen, at the very least, I appreciate that people have been open to the dialogue and the discussion in a good way. So hopefully it'll make a difference.
Well, Leeds go to Crystal Palace live on Super Sunday. Jesse Marsch's side winless in their last 4 Premier League games. So how important is it for his team to replicate the form they showed at the start of the season?
The difference between 3 points and 0 points can mean a lot in the table in the moment. It's really compact. And I think a lot of the mid-table teams are very close to each other. I think we know there's a lot of quality in this league, but certainly the competitive nature of trying to be a mid-table team and not a bottom-table team is very high. And so for us, I think we just try to stay focused in the moment and in each match, and we know that if we do that effectively, that we can do the best we can to control what the outcomes are. So, I know, again, I have a lot of respect for Palace. I think Patrick Vieira is a fantastic manager. They have a really talented team. We know them well, and we'll be ready.
Well, these two sides last met in the Premier League back in April. It was a 0-0 draw in the end. But Marsh believes that Palace possess plenty of attacking talent. He admits that Wilfried Zaha will be their biggest challenge.
Well, I think Zaha's number one. He's a very good footballer. He's incredible in transition. He's very clever around the goal. He can score with both feet. But if you pay too much attention to him, then Edouard can have a big match. Mateta, you have Olise. You have Ayew, you have so much attacking talent on this team. So we know that 1v1 duels will be important and managing some of their dribblers and some of their individual talent. But we will need to manage specifically when we have the ball to make sure that they're not getting out in transition and hurting us.
You've spoken about Wilfried Zaha there. Are you aware that his record isn't particularly great against Leeds?
No, I didn't know.
I think it's no goals in 9 games.
Don't say that. But he's a great player and a very dangerous attacking threat. So, it'll be important that we address him on the day.
Well, now to a huge blow for Celtic. They could be without their captain, Callum McGregor, for a lengthy period of time. McGregor came off with a knee injury in Celtic's defeat to RB Leipzig in midweek. And boss Ange Postecoglou isn't expecting to have him back soon.
Yeah, still waiting to hear. He's off to see the specialist this morning. So, we'll just have a look. Obviously, for him to come off, it's fairly significant. But as the timelines and that, we'll find out today. It's obviously not short term, but we're hoping it's not too long term. He's a fantastic player. That's the first thing. You're missing a fantastic player. Beyond that, it's his influence on and off the field as a leader. And there's not one person that can replace that. So it will be a case of other guys stepping up and filling that breach. We missed him for a few games last year, and it's just stuff we have to cope with. Obviously, he's disappointed because he's such a big part of the way we play our football and what we've created here. And so I know he'll be working hard, whatever the timeline is, to get back. But in the meantime, we just need other players to step up.
Plenty to come. In the final part of Total Football, we've got more Premier League build-up on the way, including Marco Silva, Eddie Howe, and the new Brighton boss, Roberto De Zerbi. welcome back. It is a year to the day since the Saudi-led takeover of Newcastle, which has transformed the fortunes of the club on and off the pitch. Well, Newcastle manager Eddie Howe believes that the mood has been lifted, but he also does understand why some people remain uncomfortable about the source of Newcastle's newfound wealth.
Yeah, the club's come a long way. I think the positivity, first and foremost, was what hit me coming into the club, of everyone connected with the club in terms of the takeover and what may lie ahead for the club in the future. And I think that positivity is still there, and I think that's a very difficult thing to keep. I think everyone behind the scenes has done a very, very good job in terms of just putting the building blocks in place for what the club needs for long-term success, and hopefully we can then deliver that.
Big changes, as everyone's been saying, over the last 12 months, Eddie. A lot of money spent. Do you understand why some people are uncomfortable about the source of that money?
Yes, I do, and I understand the question. But for me, the directors and owners test ratified by the Premier League, I have to have faith in that process. So obviously I've been the decision maker behind where some of that money has gone, and I've looked at it purely from a football perspective, trying to recruit the best players for Newcastle. Well, I think it's for the club itself, it's transformed first the feeling, but then the vision. The vision will drive this club into hopefully a very successful future. For the city, I think the city bounces off what the football club is doing and the feeling within the football club. So with that positivity inside the club, now you're feeling that around the city, and hopefully it's my job to try and keep that for as long as possible.
Now, Marco Silva has not ruled out the possibility of top scorer Alexander Mitrovic being available for Fulham's game against West Ham at the London Stadium on Sunday. Mitrovic came off injured in their defeat to Newcastle last week.
Still doubt. He was outside this morning, doing some work, getting better, but still the doubt for the match. Okay, something again. We have to assess him again tomorrow, do what we should do with him, and after to take the decision for the match. That was the injury that he got from the first game in the national team. He got a kick in his feet, damaged a little bit. His feet, and of course he played the second game after the first international match. He played the second game again. He played the 90 minutes. Of course, when he came here, was with a small damage in his feet. Of course, we are managing. We are doing some treatment with him to get him ready as quick as we can. It's a situation that is not really serious, but we have to get him in best conditions we can.
Tottenham are capable of winning the Premier League. That is according to new Brighton boss Roberto De Zerbi. They host Antonio Conte's sides tomorrow. It is fourth against third. De Zerbi looking to build on that thrilling 3-3 draw with Liverpool last week.
Tottenham this year, they are the right condition to win the Premier League. It's not easy because there is City, Liverpool, Chelsea. But in transfer market, Tottenham, they bought very good players, and after 1 year to work, 1 year of work of Antonio, I think they are able to win the Premier League.
Well, De Zerbi has previous with the Spurs boss Antonio Conte, having played against him 4 times in his career, but failing to win on any occasion.
Yes, but Antonio worked for Inter. No, Inter was Inter in this year were a great team. Sassuolo too, but Inter won Serie A. Is always very strong to play against Antonio. But I don't think we play the same style, but we have maybe the same passion, the same vision of the football. I think the football for us is the first place in our life.
Now in the Championship, it's a big weekend for West Brom manager Steve Bruce. They've won just one of their 12 games so far this season. Bruce has admitted he needs a result against Luton tomorrow to stave off further pressure.
At the end of the day, look, we haven't won enough.
We've drawn 7, which could have been quite different. We've played well at times and haven't got rewards at times. However, we need to win, and the expectation of this club, it has to be at the top end of the division, and that's what we all understand.
And have you had any talks with the ownership?
I speak to Ron every day. That's not changed. We all understand, and I fully get it. That's why you're here today. I fully get it. That we need to improve results. End of, starting with tomorrow. I understand that frustration. Really understand it. So our job is to try and give them something to cheer, i.e. win a football match, no matter how you do it. And the support will be like they've always been here. Fiercely loyal, we'll get behind the team. And when we're up against it, and you're in a bit of a fight, then you have to show what you're about. And that goes from yourself to the players, and if they show that, the supporters will go with them.
Do you sense that you have to get a result this weekend?
Well, I understand the situation. We all understand the situation. So it's pretty straightforward. We have to get a result.
Nottingham Forest will look to bring an end to their torrid run of form, which has seen them lose 5 straight matches when they host Aston Villa on the Monday Night Football.
They are full of really good players. I think they've got an excellent midfield and excellent attacking players. Got a lot of respect for Stephen, and the job he's done since he's gone into coaching and management. A lot of respect for the fact he went and coached in the academy before he took the first team role, and obviously the Rangers and what he did up there, and then coming into the Premier League has spoken for himself. He's got a team that's hungry and wants to do well in the Premier League. So we have to be ready for that in a moment of little bit of negativity around results. That's where we got to show that we can come through this. So we'll be ready.
Could it be Philly Boots time for Manchester City against Southampton at the Etihad? We'll hear from Pep Guardiola on his star striker Erling Haaland.